Hello and welcome to another edition of Marked Out Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Adam Baum. Alongside me is my co-host, the other way, Mr. Brian. How are you today, BT?
I'm good. You said I'm right next to you, though. I'm not right next to you.
You are on the screen.
Well, that's true, yeah. Where are you? It looks like a palatial estate.
I'm outside. I'm hiding out. Of course, we're going to talk about wrestling tonight, and specifically Double or Nothing predictions like we talked about last week. But before I do, I got to bring in our board members on the YouTube live chat board, our lieutenants, Hall of Famers Daniel Price and Christopher Stikeleather, and of course, Rocky is here as well. So basically, Brian, we're looking at a situation where there's 3, 6, 10 matches on the card. I've complained. You've said I'm wrong. I'm hoping this isn't a all the way till midnight pay-per-view.
Well, before we keep going, they're saying that my mic needs to be turned up. So did you play with something on the board on that end? So you can't hear Brian. Sounds like he's in a can under a pillow someone's sitting on.
That means it probably means that maybe my mic is what's picking you up, and that's the only thing. So as I said, we got 10 matches on the card. We've got basically, for lack of a better way, with 10 matches, I don't feel that they could end before midnight. I don't see it happening, and I'm speculating that it's going to be another long one, and I think that you could easily cut some matches out here.
Yeah, what would you cut out?
I would cut out first off the obvious one. I would cut off Jade, her and Anna Jay. I just don't see it. It's just like that feud has not been built up to the level of what it should be. Hookhausen and Nice, that's another one on the pre-show. These are listed right now, Brian, as on the pre-show. I think they just threw a lot of stuff together for no reason to get these on the. I think House of Black and Death Triangle should be a pre-show because you get rid of the other two, and I really don't see. I don't see why they're rushing to a Bucks and Hardy feud here. You would think that this is something that's long term, right? But it's not.
No, it's not long term. This is just. Maybe it'll go. They'll have a rematch at some point, but no, I don't think it's. But it doesn't really have to be a long, drawn out feud. They already have a history. I know it wasn't like, in like a big company or whatever, but they wrestled on the Indies. They wrestled in Ring of Honor, so that's big enough.
Well, let's stay with this one for a second, Brian. So you and I love when we have opposing views because you are more of the professional wrestling fan, where I am the AEW guy, just that's only knows. Unless these guys came from WWE, I only know their AEW bodies of work. And for me, I didn't see part 1 or part 2 for the Bucks and Hardys. So I don't. They're once again building off of people like you that are fans of professional wrestling, not somebody like me that it isn't what it's doing.
I see.
So I'm just saying that there's the Bucks and Hardys. This feels rushed to Double or Nothing. I feel like a lot of these feuds that are the undercard have been rushed. Of course, Brian, MJF and Wardlow, Punk and Page, those have been built. You could even say that the Owen tournament has been built, and Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb. You could say that one's been built. The rest have kind of floundered back and forth between Dark, Elevation, and whatever feuds, and I feel like they just did a lot of these just to get some names on the card. I could be wrong, but that's just what I'm speculating. The issues that we might have with the audio, I'm not able to fix, but Rob's on the way. So Brian, whatever you say, I will convey back and forth. For now, I'll be your interpreter. So the let's check in with the board. Stike says I have a feeling this is going to be a 1 a.m. pay-per-view end time, especially if they go against Boston, Miami, Game 7. I don't think that's the same audience. Would be my argument there. I don't see how one has any correlation on the other. And Stike also says cut off Hookhausen, cut off Jade Anna, and cut off, the same three I said to cut off, except one of them I said move to the pre-show. The bottom line on this is that we should be more invested in some of these feuds. Like, I am completely invested, as I said, Brian, in Hangman, Punk, MJF, Wardlow. Is there another match on the card that you are really like invested in? That one that you're like, this is important, I gotta see, I want to know, or I'm looking forward to?
I mean, Punk and Hangman, I'm really looking forward to that one. I mean, a few weeks ago it was a given that Punk was going to win the belt. I'm not so sure.
So you really think that you don't think that it's a given Punk wins the title anymore?
I still think I mean, there's a good possibility that he will, but a few weeks ago I was like dead set on. I was like, oh my god, Punk is absolutely winning. But I don't know, with Hangman kind of going heel and Punk like still face, but still has like dastardly undertones.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's almost like, Brian, since you're talking about the heel and the face blurred lines between Punk and Hangman, it's almost like you booked it. You know, the hey Brian, where we have to figure out or who's the heel, who's the face, because it definitely feels more like Hangman's the heel, but I keep speculating, is he just the heel for this feud? And Punk, is he just the face, or is he going to go heel? Because he like you said, keeps towing the line, going back and forth. So before we lock in our predictions, let's just start with the stupid pre-show. I say it because I really don't care about either of these matches, Brian. Hookhausen versus Nice and Mark Sterling. Now, to me, what this is saying is that Danhausen is a manager, because this, by having Nice having his partner be Mark Sterling, it's basically Tony Nese versus Hook. And I feel like this might be a smart move, but it's also a stupid move. It's a smart move by Tony because he wants to get eyes on this match, eyes on Hook, eyes on what Hook is, because he feels he's the future. So maybe that's why he included Danhausen. But I mean, you told me a while ago about Danhausen and how I should be excited. Is Danhausen a valet that sometimes wrestles?
No, he's usually just a wrestler. I mean, he can talk. He has obviously a great character work.
Is he how do I put it? Is he healthy? I know he had the broken leg. Like, is he being used as a valet to get back into it slowly?
I mean, maybe, but I don't think that they're just going to make him just a manager. I think, oh, thank God Rob's here. Hi, Rob.
Yes, thank God Rob's here is what Brian said, and I second it. So DP is saying that Mark Sterling's eating the pin. I think that's a bit obvious, but I'd rather see, if you're really trying, Brian, like I said with TK, trying to push Hook here, get eyes on Hook, why wouldn't you just have Hook pin Tony Nese? Wouldn't that make him look stronger?
Why don't have it?
That's what I did.
Tony Nese.
And it went back down. What'd you say, Brian? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, that's all right. I had to cough, so I muted myself. No, I don't mind that. I mean, it does feel like you said. It feels like a 2-on-1 kind of with like Mark Sterling being in there. So I don't think they're just going to make Danhausen a manager. I wouldn't mind that actually, though, if
I mean, they definitely
Nice
want
took the pin.
Hookhausen to win. They've already got 3
Oh yeah,
T-shirts for him.
yeah, for sure.
Um, but Stike Leather on the board says to me they killed the Danhausen hype when he lost to Tony Nese in mere seconds. I gotta say, as somebody who knows nothing about Danhausen, to watch his first match and watch him just lay a big fat turd like that was, I mean, what do you go with, Brian?
Right. Well, that's why I feel like he has to look strong in this match.
Well, what defines strong? Like, does he pin Mark Sterling?
Um, I mean, probably, probably. I would say maybe like Hook sets him up. Hook obviously gets like the big assist or something.
Well, yeah,
Or
Hook obviously has to do the majority of the work. This could be
right,
even, one of those where, I think it was when it might have been when they were doing like 6-man tags, but I think it was one of the times where Devon was hurt or they split shows. But Spike and Bubba used to wrestle, and Bubba would do most of the work, and then he'd tag in Spike, who would get on his shoulders for a pin or some shit.
right.
I feel like that's what's going to happen here. Danhausen is going to get the pin. If it's on Mark Sterling, if it's Hook, I think he pins Nese clean. Either way,
I think it could be. I mean, honestly, I could see Nice or Sterling taking the pin. I mean, I feel like what you said. I feel like it's gonna be
yeah,
Sterling, but
yeah. But if it's Sterling, it's Danhausen, so he can get a little bit of redemption. All right, so we're both going with Hookhausen there.
Hookhausen.
Okay, match number 2 of the don't give a fuck matches. Um, Jade Cargill and Anna Jay, TBS title. Before we get into the whole thing, I don't see Anna Jay as a contender. I don't think they've built her as a champion, um, so that therefore she's not a legitimate contender to win. Brian, am I wrong?
Um, sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I was listening to
I
the.
was saying so. The winner of this is the champion, right? So if Anna Jay were to beat Jade, she'd hand her first loss, and she would win a title. I don't see Anna Jay as being built to the level that either of those things are going to happen.
No, not Anna Jay.
No.
You said Anna Jay?
Yeah, that's who's fighting Jade.
No, yeah, so definitely Jade.
Yeah, I mean they haven't even built this match.
No.
And the final, who gives a fuck? At least this one's been built. They've been doing it for a minute. House of Black and Death Triangle. This is one of those. It's a 6-man tag. This is one of those. I feel like I don't care, but it should be a ladder match, right? It should be some stipulation. It should be more than just a straight up 6-man.
Can't hear anything you're saying.
Oh, sorry. Uh, I guess Rob's fixing the audio. What I was saying was the House of Black versus Death Triangle. It's just a straight up 6-man match. Shouldn't it be some kind of stipulation, a ladder or something?
No. Why does it have to be?
I don't know. I'm just like they've been doing various combinations of them for a few weeks. It seems like to one up it if this is the pay per view. Let's add a little sauce.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, what other? They don't really have. Are there any other gimmick matches on the show?
We'll get to there. There is one in the next one. And then there's some stipulations, obviously. So I think this is a coin toss, Brian. I'll let you go first. House of Black and Death Triangle. Who's got it?
House of Black. I mean, Buddy Matthews just debuted. I mean, hell, Brody King
Just
still hasn't
just
really done
debuted. No, I feel like he debuted months ago, Brian.
He did, but with AEW, it takes a while to get appearances. It seems like so. It feels like even though he debuted months ago, yeah, he hasn't really been shown all that much.
How?
At least he hasn't been
Wait.
shown.
I can't gloss over what you just said. You said he just debuted. I said no, it was months ago. You said, well, with AEW it takes a while.
It does.
No, no,
Right?
the people quickly go to the YouTube channel.
Well, okay. So either way, but I'm saying that it takes a while for them to, I don't know,
He
get the
totally
ball
steps on
rolling.
himself now.
Not stepping,
Get the
right?
ball rolling.
But anyway, yeah, my pick is what did I say?
House of Black.
House
Okay, so we both got House of Black. You asked about the stipulation match and if there was any weird one. I don't know exactly what this is, but it's Anarchy in the Arena. And I believe this is the evolution of Stadium Stampede, but it's the Jericho Society, which taking on Mox, Daniel Bryan, Santana, Ortiz, and Kingston. What a motley bunch on the face side, which is typically what they do. This is Jericho gets some weird ass theme match. Team Jericho versus 5 other guys. I wish I knew if this is like an elimination thing. Is this just we're gonna fight all around the arena just like Stadium Stampede? And once Matt Hardy gets a concussion, somebody's gonna be pinned. Like, do you know, Brian? You seem to have some little insider knowledge, or was that only when you were doing the All Elite Hour?
no, I do not have any insider knowledge. However, if I did, I don't know if I would share that on this podcast.
Wow, you're a dick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they can't hear me anyway, man. Shit's all fucked up. So.
So all the more reason that you should just say it.
That's true.
Daniel Price says it's a glorified 5-on-5 street fight where the rematch will likely be blood and guts. So that's basically what they did last time. They did. I don't know why the rematch will be blood and guts, because then that has to lead to a rubber, and I don't. I don't like it. There's no need for some rubbers. Giggity. Regardless, I'm going with the face team. What are you going with?
No, I'm gonna go with Jericho. Jericho Appreciation Society.
Yeah.
He's throwing fireballs in everyone's face. He's a wizard.
I'm so over Jericho. Him and his super spreader shit. I'm so over him. So that's the first one on the card, Brian, that you and I are split. You got Jericho Appreciation Society. I got the face team. Back to the Bucks and the Hardys. I think the Bucks win, obviously, and they might be. I don't know what the word is. They might be nice and let Cutler be the reason. Like I imagine Jeff goes up for a swanton, Cutler hits his feet or pushes him off. Then the Bucks do their super kick party, and that's all she wrote. So Young Bucks win for me. Brian, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going Bucks.
There's no way the Bucks don't book themselves.
No, and I mean, I feel like if the Bucks win this one, if there's a rematch, or if somehow I don't know, I feel like at some point it's going to shift back over into a Ultimate Deletion or some type of match.
Well, yeah, and that's why I think the Bucks have to win round one,
Right.
to force the Hardys into what was it, Brother Nero?
Yeah, Brother Nero.
They might go full like the whole 9 yards.
Right.
I mean
The whole
it
9 yards with Matthew Perry.
yes, the whole 10 yards was also with Bruce Willis too.
That was, yeah. Shout out Bruce Willis.
Yeah, that's a sad thing.
Okay,
So
it's not the 18. Whoops.
all right, so next we got some titles. Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb. Now, this has not been the Britt Baker Thunder Rosa saga, but low key, they've been doing it for a while. Where Serena Deeb and Thunder, I think they were battling for the NWA title at one point on AEW.
Yeah, I mean, that was in the early days.
That was right when they both debuted. I don't think either was even all elite yet. But I just don't see Thunder Rosa I mean, they're calling back to this old feud, but I don't see Thunder dropping the belt. She hasn't even done anything with the belt. Am I wrong?
No, I don't see her dropping it though. But I'm not saying that you're not wrong when you said that her title reign hasn't been all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what. I mean, you say not all that in a bag of chips, but I mean, I really don't know what you would consider her title reign. Has she wrestled? I'm not positive that she's wrestled.
Yeah, she's wrestled. What are you talking about?
Really?
Yeah.
Stike, you're my stat boy. Tell Brian that she hasn't wrestled since winning the title. All right, so who do you got? You agree with me on Thunder then,
Thunder.
retaining. Thunder. Jinx, you owe me a coat.
Whoa, that was weird. I thought, wow.
All right, next title match. It's a triple threat, Brian. You know how I love those triple threats. We got Jurassic Express. Powerhouse Hobbs. And Ricky Stark. Taking on Keith Lee and Swerve. I believe Keith Lee and Swerve might get the titles. And I think it could be because Christian turns on Jungle Boy. And it kind of takes them out of the way, and then Keith Lee pins Team Taz. Or Swerve pins Team Taz. Thunder Rosa had one title defense that was against Nyla Rose. Okay. Thank you, Stike. Audio is completely gone now, is what Rocky says. So, Rob's working on it. That's all I can say.
What'd you say?
I can't fix anything if you're not
Oh,
talking.
sorry. I didn't know. Can you see it now? The triple threat here has some interest, but it could be also similar to like when Kenny Omega fought Pac and Orange Cassidy, where there was no chance the title was changing hands in that one. Do you think that there's a chance that the title changes hands this time around, Brian? Like, do you really think that either one of these contenders is a contender?
No. No.
So you think Jurassic Express retains?
No, because I like your idea of Christian turning on them.
I mean, Christian needs to do something. They gave him the Impact title, and he dropped it almost immediately. They let him beat Kenny Omega, but really right after Christian signed is when they got all those other signings. You know, Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole, like they just brought CM Punk, all those other ones in. So I don't know. I'm saying that Keith Lee and Swerve take it. I think they have to do something with these two guys, and they're not going to give them a singles push. So here it is. You agree, Brian?
Yeah. I mean, Christian definitely needs something.
So Christian, that's what I'm saying. So they build Jungle Boy and Christian as soon as they drop the belts, they're out.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay. All right. So we both got that one. You don't think Team Taz could take it though? I mean,
No.
they've been on TV a lot. This is probably their second chance. Brian Cage is gone. I think Sonny Kiss is gone, by the way he's said on Twitter. I think he's no longer.
No, I think Cage is still there. He's not with Team Taz, but.
Yeah. He's not booked. He's signed. And Vince is evil for doing that to Sasha and Naomi, but fucking Tony does it all day. All right, so let's see. The next up is the Owen.
The Owen.
How could it not be Britt and Adam both winning? I mean, they're both in the finals. I don't care if it's Ruby Soho or Statlander. Britt's winning, and Adam Cole's beating Samoa Joe. Probably with the help of Lethal and Sanjay Dutt and Sitnam Swat or whatever the hell his name is. Oh, Stike says Team Taz wins. Brian, can you not hear me? Oh, we can't hear Brian.
I'm fucking trying, man.
Oh, I know. You're good, Rob. I appreciate it. All right, so I'll get Brian's pick in a second, but I just don't see now that we've gotten to the finals. I don't see how Britt and Adam are not both winning it, and how they're not going to probably join their characters now. Just my thought. MJF and Wardlow, the contract stipulations here make it seem a little obvious that Wardlow's going to win. Because if he loses, he can never sign with AEW. But Tony owns two companies. I mean, so I don't think that they could just get around it. I mean, they could just say, hey, he's signed to Ring of Honor, and here's the second match. I always feel like MJF wins the first round, but he always loses the feud in the end. And the contract step makes it too obvious, right? Or is the contract step just part of it, and Wardlow wins? Like we got to have one. Okay, so either way, you think Wardlow's winning. I'm having to read your lips, so this is fun trying. Yeah, I can't hear you. Like now, I'm really interpreting. So, like, if you want to do like any sign language, like whatever, I don't know. You don't know any sign language. Yeah, Ward. I'm gonna go with Wardlow. Are you gonna go with MJF? Wardlow, the big W. There we go. I mean, there's no question there. I'll get Brian's Owen finals. Brian mentioned it a minute ago. We was talking about Paige and Punk, and he said 2 weeks ago, 100% Punk's winning. Now he thinks that there's a chance that Paige is winning. I don't know. I don't know. Daniel Price, he says, told you last week, Cole and Britt as king and queen of the prom type winners. Joe and Ruby would be awkward. Yeah, I mean, if this was king and queen, it would make more sense. This is supposed to be about Owen, and it's simply not. It's terrible. And Stike says this is just lazy booking. Wardlow wins because if they have him lose to MJF, then everything they have done to build Wardlow up goes down the drain. Yeah, but they've done these head-scratching moments, Stike. I think Wardlow wins the feud in the end, but I'm not convinced he wins at Double or Nothing. And the same thing, I still think Punk wins. I think you have to give it to Punk. But I do think there's a chance that Punk wins Brian by DQ. Hangman, completes the heel turn, gets himself disqualified, counted out, something, so that he can retain. And then, what do you got? You got a second match without Hangman having to lose. You like it? Or you don't like it? Yeah, he can't hear me.
Adam's hardly audible and muffled. Whatever.
Fucking Christ.
That's what DP said. They can't hear you.
That's unfortunate.
It's a fucking dumpster fire.
Right. So this is the end anyway. Show started. I think Punk wins the title and he turns heel after the match. Stike, I would have said that if they were face, but they've already seemingly turned Hangman. So why would they turn Punk at the end of the feud? It would make more sense if they were both faces. I don't know. But I got Punk. Brian has Punk as well, or is he nodding no? He's nodding yes.
Yes.
I can hear you again, Brian.
Oh, hey.
Let's backtrack one real quick, and that is Britt and Adam Cole. Is there anything that makes you think Joe or Ruby could win?
Joe or Ruby? No.
Or Statlander, sorry.
Say again?
Or Statlander, I forgot technically.
No, that's true. That's true. No. Well, no. No. It's gonna be Britt and Cole.
If you are, if you are, or were hoping that this would be an Owen tribute, I mean, is this just going to be Brett comes out and goes, "Here, you won. Here's a trophy"? I mean, this is to me feels like any other AEW tournament. It means nothing in the end. It's not what was promised. It's not what we hoped for, both in execution and the people they allowed in it. I still have to interpret for you, Brian.
Can he not hear you?
Brian, can you hear me?
No, you're breaking up then.
Oh, I was breaking up.
Rob is in there with you?
Yes, he is working tirelessly trying to fix
I
this.
didn't know that.
My little bit of fucking free time trying to fix this shit.
Yeah. I'm gonna say we're good to shut it down. It's been tough on this.
Yeah.
We will be back next week if you can hear me. Hopefully that will give Rob plenty of time to figure this out, or maybe even get the other options set
All
up.
these goddamn Streamlab updates.
It really is like. I hope you guys don't think that we're constantly messed up. It's just every time they make an update, it resets everything, and then we have to play with it and figure it out. In case my audio is gone, but yours is back, Brian, do you wanna sign out? Say goodbye.
Yeah, I'm excited for the show. I mean, they usually deliver on pay-per-view, so I have no reason not to believe that it's not going to be anything. I don't know, 8 out of 10, I would say.
I'm just worried of predictability. And the lack of investment I have in so many of these matches, and the fact that I'm going to have to stay up till midnight or 1 to watch the one of the few I care about.
Right.
That's where I think it's shitty.
I don't think it's going to be that late.
Oh, I every show has gone at least till midnight, Brian. I mean, we only get 5, so I get how long they are, but you have to invest me into all the matches if you're going to do that. Otherwise, they should be on Velocity or Heat or, in this case, Dark or Elevation. You know, no buy-in. All right. So, anyway, DP, you're funny, but now's not the right time. So we'll see you next time. We'll be back next week. Hopefully everything will be working properly. Until then, tune in next time, same smart time, same smart channel.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Marked Out Podcast is produced and edited by You Record Studios and is recorded live from Charlotte, North Carolina. Subscribe, follow, and listen to us live following WWE programming on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Download the podcast by following